Do It Best reaches 230 million people in one day and 99% of all U.S. zip codes in 2 days. So you should trust in the ability that Do It Best can get it to their stores or directly to their customers. They've been investing in doing this for 20 years plus.
I love that they are really championing independent business. And I think in the future, we're going to need to have partnerships like this to be able to compete against these titans that are getting bigger daily. And I think that that's a huge deal for Do It Best to have that for every single store. The next generation of these amazing kids that are all walking around and the current generation are going to need it.
For sure. The collaboration and joining of forces for the Do It Best group with True Value is the most exciting. The energy is alive and well in this room, and we're just getting started.
Welcome to the Grit Blueprint Podcast, the playbook for building unmistakable brands that grow, lead, and last in the built world. I'm Stephanie Couch, the founder of Grit Blueprint, and I'm a lifelong building industry insider. I was raised here, built my career here, and now my team and I help others win here. The truth is, you can be the best option in your space and still lose to someone else who simply shows up better and more consistently. Each week on the Grit Blueprint, I'm going to show you how to stand out, earn trust, and turn your brand into a competitive advantage that lasts. If you're ready to be seen, known, chosen, and become unmistakable, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Welcome to the Grit Blueprint Podcast. I'm your host, Stephanie Couch, and today I'm coming to you live from the really happening Indianapolis Do It Best Group Market. Welcome to the show, Anthony.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And we are starting a big weekend. You called it the Super Bowl for Do It Best.
It is the hardware Super Bowl for sure.
Do It Best is the largest co-op in the world, which is pretty cool. 9,000 members. And I think they may all be here today.
I think so.
There are a lot of people here, vendors everywhere, products, people, all the things. And we're here in Indy. Welcome to what I think is the best independent hardware co-op show ever. I mean, it's the biggest one they've ever had.
I think this is all factual, the best.
Well, you are in a role that I think is really interesting. So you are a Do It Best member.
Yes.
And I want you to tell me about you, your business. How'd you get started and what are you doing today?
Sure, yeah. So we're family owned and operated. My my brother and I started the company, and I'm one of four siblings, but all of the children are now in the business. We've started pretty humble in my parents' basement. So we're a little bit different for, I would say, Do It Best in the hardware industry, where we don't operate brick and mortar stores. So our focus is online fulfillment, online marketplaces, and we've really grown in the last 20 years.
Yeah, I'd say. So a lot of great businesses started in garages or basements. So I think that might be like a hallmark for what you can do is if you start in a garage or a basement, who knows what could happen.
Sure.
Well, tell me a little bit today. You know, a lot of people don't realize how much Do It Best offers members. They have not only brick and mortar store support for these 9,000 people who do have more common hardware stores that you can walk in and buy. They also offer e-commerce, and they have a world-class distribution channel. Tell me about how that helps you in your business.
Well, sure. And I mean, I think when you look at Do It Best and the network that has been built over the last 2 decades, this isn't new for Do It Best. They've been investing in doing this, like I said, for 20 years plus. But when you look at Do It Best small parcel distribution, it's one of the fastest in the country. So there's nothing is close, I would say, as far as reach to the consumer and speed and capacity. So how that helps, I would say, brick and mortar members, you know, when you look at maybe central stock SKUs or items that aren't, or maybe an out in their facility, or filling doitbest.com stores, members should trust and Do It Best of the support that's there.
Yeah, there's some amazing statistics about the fill rates, and you guys can reach people all over the US so quickly with their distribution channels that they have and how they have it set up, and millions of products. So people don't have to have every single item on their shelf.
Sure.
But if someone comes into the store and wants to buy it, they can do that through the online, or they can buy it right from their home and it's there in a day or two, just like if they ordered it from another big chain.
Yeah, I mean, so some of the statistics to that, if you look at one day, the current I'll call them 9 distribution centers, not including True Value right now, which will be exciting with integration, over the next 12, 18, 24 months. But Do It Best reaches 230 million people in one day and 99% of all U.S. zip codes in 2 days. So whether our members are on the West Coast or our members are in the South or the East, I would say you should trust in the ability that Do It Best can get it to their stores or directly to their customers.
One of the things I think is the most cool offerings that maybe people don't know about is the training and the education that Do It Best is doing for members. They have lots of education happening here at the show. So we have stuff at the Do It Best LBM booth. We had a full knowledge session yesterday, topics ranging from social media to e-commerce to operations, AI. And then they're also helping with marketing. So if you don't have a marketing team in your store, Do It Best has that covered. And I think that's really helpful for especially independent businesses that maybe don't have a team of 10 people to do marketing. It's pretty cool how they're doing it.
Well, I think, we're in talking on that front, but also talking on buying power. It's about that leverage, right? Mm-hmm. So, it brings independents or mom and pops or companies like ours, the buying power and the branding and as well as the support staff and marketing of very large retailers.
Yeah. You can be a one-store owner that feels like you have 9,000 stores because you do.
Correct.
Yeah, it's powerful.
This episode of the Grit Blueprint podcast was sponsored by Do It Best Group. Do It Best Group is the largest co-op in the world, and they help independent hardware and lumber yards all over North America win. Do It Best offers services, products, and people that can help you win long term. They are the champion of independence.
I want to talk a little bit about family because I know you have a family business, and I actually can see right outside here your nephews and the next generation here, which is really fun. Tell me a little bit about how your family business got started, what that means to you, and what the next generation is going to look like.
I think it's important, and it's not just our family. As you walk around the show here and you see multiple generations, especially in hardware. But for us, it's a little bit different. So we're first generation into the business. But, again, you mentioned nephews are here, the 8 and 10 years old that already are showing interest in the family business. And I think it's important for them to see that now and get started earlier. And, I was just talking to a couple of members earlier, and they were talking about their grown children now, how when they were young at the show. And I think it's important to experience it. And I think hardware, and independent hardware at that is truly a family oriented environment.
Yeah. When I grew up going to hardware shows and lumber shows and things, it was absolutely my number one thing the whole year. The free candy was unrivaled. And I think there was a lot of cool swag. I saw some stuff. There's puppies down the line here. I'm pretty excited. I'm trying to get one here, trying to get one in my lap. I was hoping that you would bring me a puppy, Anthony.
We might be able to work that. I think my nephews might be down there playing with them.
And then there's also, I've seen all sorts of like kids stuff, little toys and trinkets, and because people sell this in their hardware store. So there's everything under the sun at this market. What is one of the most exciting things for you when you think about what Do It Best is going to be in the next 5 years, the future of our industry? What excites you the most?
Well, I would say, obviously the collaboration and joining of forces for the Do It Best group with True Value, I think, is the most exciting. I mean, I think the energy could be felt at this market, here today, where we're sitting right now, the amount of folks that are here, I think the energy is alive and well in this room, and we're just getting started this weekend. So I just, the future of Do It Best group and our family now with True Value. We talked about family, but us Do It Best and True Value are now family. Yeah. And I think the future of that is bright, and there's just a lot of excitement behind that.
Yeah. And True Value has been through a lot as a company, and those people that were, there, they needed someone to come in and really be there to help them be able to leverage, like you said, all of the things that they needed in their business, and Do It Best already has that set up. So I know I've talked to a lot of True Value members that are very relieved by that. They went through a hard few years, and I think they're really excited to hit the ground running and take this partnership to the next level.
Not to say a slogan here, but I think we're better together. Do It Best and True Value truly are better together.
Yeah. And I love that they are really championing independent business. And I think in the future, we're going to need to have partnerships like this to be able to compete against these titans that are getting bigger daily. And I think that that's a huge deal for Do It Best to have that for every single store. The next generation of these amazing kids that are all walking around and the current generation are going to need it.
For sure.
Well, tell me a little bit more about your family. You actually have a foundation. So I want to just touch on that because you're doing incredible things with that. Tell me about that.
Yeah, sure. So, obviously, business, I shouldn't say it's first, family is first, number one, but in our lives, in our business, we get so busy. But for us, and I would say a lot of our members, we're connected to our communities. And for us, we're on a national level of our customer base. But giving back is, I would say, very important to our family. So we formed the Bogucki Foundation, and our focus is empowering communities and changing lives is our tagline there. But our core focus is immune-compromised children. So we fly these kids to lifesaving treatment when they can't have no other means to get there. And there's a couple of missions that we've done, and it's just a great thing when you can save a child's life.
Yeah. And you had one story, a young girl named Ava who needed a transplant out of Florida. Is that right? Yeah.
So she needed a treatment, and she went through a clinical trial from Florida to a children's hospital, Philadelphia. And we provided round trip transportation for her to have that treatment and then return back to Florida the same day. And we just got a note, I think it was about 2 or 3 weeks back, that Ava is in full remission and in the 6th grade and happy, well, and thriving. So it's just something that I think you can't put into words what the feeling to impact a child is.
Yeah. And it really makes it worth all the things that you do. It's not just about business. It's so much more than that, and having a mission. You're doing other stuff with, you have a fishing charity that you're doing. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so we've partnered. So the long story short about how we got started in hardware was actually on the fishing side. So we ran a bait and tackle and things like that. So that's, I would say, near and dear to our heart. But we give back to our local community. There's programs. One of our local towns, it's called Cops and Bobbers. So it gets the children interacting with local law enforcement at an early age. And gets them involved in outdoors. So we try to sponsor that, donate equipment, get children active outside and engaged with the, like I said, local law enforcement and have that comfort level there.
I bet that's such a fun event.
No, it's fun.
And you have a team. And so you're obviously, some of your team is here. What is the most exciting event for you and your team while you're here?
Well, so like I said, I think this is our Super Bowl. So obviously market floor is my favorite thing to do. I look forward to it all year. But to your point, the some of the training events that are here, Power Preview yesterday was phenomenal. We had the great weather. Obviously, I would say my nephews were more interested in the food that was giving away versus the grilling and things. But we just have a great weekend lineup here, and our whole team is very excited about it.
They let me drive a 0-turn
How'd that work out?
Everyone's still alive, Anthony, but barely. Hats were flying, squeals were happening. The guy warned me sternly that it went 16 miles per hour beforehand.
You didn't have the blades on, did you?
I don't think so, but I don't know. There could be marks. He was more fearful. My husband was extremely fearful, but everything's okay. And if you needed a yard cut, I probably might not be your girl.
I hope it's on video. I'm going to check that out.
It is on video. We may or may not be posting that soon. So, but it was a great event. I think that might be one of my favorite things because you're out there in the action, and I can't imagine a more perfect day than it was yesterday. All we needed, like a football game, would have been. That's all tomorrow. We were missing. Yeah, tomorrow it's happening.
Hope the weather holds up.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm going to be out and about in the market floor. Have you seen anything yet that is a must see here?
I haven't gotten around too much yet. So I would say that, well, we know the puppies, but
the puppies,
as far as a lot of new vendors that are here, I think multiple hundred first time vendors, as well as vendors we haven't had in the past.
Yeah.
For me, it's very important to get around and talk to our vendor partners and continue to build those relationships, but also connect with our members as well.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about how the vendors and the partnerships, that's really important. And I think that's one of the things that Do It Best does the most in what I've seen is build these strong relationships that last forever. And the partners want to be here. The vendors want to do business with them. How does Do It Best make it easy for the vendors?
Sure. So what I always say is that hardware is a very much a relationship business, but you have to execute. And Do It Best executes.
Yeah.
So we maintain relationships, not only with our vendors, but our members. And this event is a collaboration, not only with our vendor partners, but what we learn from our members. And that's what a co-op is.
Yeah.
And do it best, execute. So I think the vendor community is very excited to be here. I think the joining and of Do It Best and True Value is seen, and the energy's here. So I think we have everything going for us right now. So we'll see how that continues to pan out throughout the weekend.
I love it. Well, I hope you have a stellar market. I want to go meet these nephews because they seem pretty cool. I wonder what they would say in an interview.
Well, I'll tell you with the older one, I don't know where he went, but he had introduced himself to somebody yesterday, and they asked him what he wanted to do for a living. And he said he wanted to be Uncle Anthony's boss one day. So I have some competition, so I got to get working.
Well, yeah, you better stay on your game because he's coming for your 6. I mean, I love it. I love the hunger, There's nothing better than a hungry kid.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's not much they can't do.
Exactly.
I love it. Well, thank you for joining me on the Grit Blueprint podcast, and we will see you on the market floor.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Grit Blueprint podcast. If this episode helped you think a little differently about how to show up, share it with someone in your building world who needs it. If you're ready to turn visibility into growth, then head to gritblueprint.com to learn more and book a call to talk to us about your growth strategy. Until next time, stay unmistakable.